And welcome back into Open Line. Chuck Long here with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. Ask the lawyer, ask the attorney tonight is what we're doing. I know every time Kevin's here, our phones light up like crazy because I know there's a lot of you that have those legal questions. Like I said, they range everything from estate planning, will planning, to problems with neighbors sometimes, to problems with a car accident. So many different things that you have questions about. This is the man, 37 years of experience in the legal profession.
Wow, it's a whole lot.
Well, I tell you what, that's a whole lot of wisdom and a whole lot of training.
Yeah. You know, I told you, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, when the man comes out on the other side, you got to say, wow, because there's many that didn't come out.
Absolutely.
And so that's why we take this experience. We love to share it with you.
And like I said, I learned so much every time you're here, Kevin. I've been doing that for years, and I'm just, I'm ready to head into the legal profession.
Come on, you're my number one student. He would really be good. All he needs is a license. They won't hoodoo him very fast.
All right. If you do have one of those questions, though, just give us a call. 737-7587 is the number. We're going right back to the lines right now. Evan, we're glad that you're on the line here on Open Line. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
A question.
Great.
I understand there's a civil version of every crime, but a criminal trial can take a long time to be held, and the statute of limitations on the civil suit is a year. So if I press criminal charges against someone, but I also want to sue them, do I press charges and file a lawsuit at the same time? And when it goes to civil court, the judge continues it on the basis of the Fifth Amendment? Or do I have to wait until the person is criminally tried to file a lawsuit? And if the person goes to jail and has nothing to give, how can I sue him when he can't appeal in court, civil court, to defend himself?
Okay, Evan, you ought to be a lawyer. So he's identified there's a criminal charge and a civil lawsuit. Well, guess what? You advance, because if the other side doesn't get a lawyer, they don't even know how to defend. We do have a right against self-incrimination. So a wise lawyer would put in a move and say, we will not address this, Your Honor, the civil, because he's not going to be compelled to testify. On the other hand, some people say, I have nothing to hide, so they'll tell it all, and you can get information in a civil lawsuit that can be used in the criminal prosecution. That's why you need a skilled lawyer to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. As a general rule, he who seeks swift justice usually gets it. But we don't really want justice, we want mercy. And a skilled lawyer would say, I've got them stopped right there, Chuck. They've hit us with the papers, but I have a little strategy that we're going to put it all on hold and let's let some time. And you say, Kevin, why do you put it on hold? Because many times we have information about witnesses, availability, and that they're going to be leaving. And so all kinds of things are used to protect your client. Discuss it with your lawyer, make a strategy, and then we weigh the pros and the cons, deductive reasoning. And sometimes when you shoot, that bullet is gone. We're not going to get it back. We'll use our best judgment, but sometimes speed and secrecy, Chuck, are your two best friends. You did a great job on that. Get the analysis. Every case is different.
All right. We appreciate that call, Evan. All right. We'll go right back to the lines right now. I think Shirley is on the line with us right now. Shirley, good evening. Do you have a question or a comment?
Good evening. Well, I have a question and a comment. Well, first of all, I'd like to comment on Kevin's suit. Tell Kevin he is wearing that orange suit.
Come on and thank you.
Well.
He's wearing it well, and he looks sharp in that suit.
Thank you. You lift me up.
He got all those rings on his fingers.
I know.
But my question is this. A lady called in earlier, and she said that they confiscated her son's money and some other things out of his house. And then they told her they can't return it. But if the charges get dropped, can't they return all that money and all that stuff?
Hello, come in. Yes. So here's the first thing that we've got to do. When they seize the money, there's a form you can file with the state of Tennessee, and we are disputing the custody of that cash and property. So you file it, didn't say you get a hearing right away, but when the criminal charges are dismissed, yes, we're going to file a motion, return the property. Now, if you do nothing, the state can default you. Never let a summons hit you and do nothing. If you get hit with a summons, then go get a lawyer, File your petition. It may take a while, but you have protected your rights. And never sit on your rights because then you run the risk of misunderstanding. Somebody said, well, I didn't get the letter. What about due process? Well, I'm telling you, due process is a proactive approach. Check, double check, and when I make my answer, I'd like to keep a copy of the answer in whose file, Chuck? Mine. And we'll protect you. You get your file, I've got. If I lost mine, you got yours. We work together. Two are better than one, the Bible says. Threefold cord is not easily broken. So that's why I operate the Kennedy Law Firm with the people around me. They help protect me. They help think about it. And when we put that together, we're in good shape. Touche to you, ma'am. You're right on it tonight.
Absolutely. Shirley, we do appreciate that call. Great question. Great comment. You know, Kevin, that's another thing, though. When you were talking about the people that you surround yourself with. A lot of law firms, they have like one specialty area here and there. You guys, when you talk about the breadth of knowledge and the breadth of help that you give, that's because you have experts in so many different areas.
Yes. And the truth is, when the problem comes in, yes, I'm a master evaluator, I'll admit that, and I'll identify the issues, but I don't know all the answers, but we've got people around us. I've got some research guys. I'd say go in there and research that. We're having a meeting at 9 o'clock. By 3 o'clock, when they come in with that little brief, Mr. Kennedy, and I say, hit it. They'll say, this is TCA. I said, have we got it? They say, we got it. I'll tell the client, my man's good. I rely on him. I trust him with my own family. When he says we got him, we got him. And so, but you really still need to have the overall, where my strength always came is a master of strategy. I'm not bragging, I'm just telling, you know, I can figure out this is a dangerous thing. I've identified it, don't walk into that. And you'll hear me tell young lawyers, watch that. Walk very softly when you go in here because it is very dangerous. It's like quicksand. You get in it, the more you move, the deeper you sink. So those are some analogies. The law is ever changing, and it's always open to interpretation. That's why the skilled, articulate lawyer can be so persuasive. They work on me. When they come and say, Kevin, I said, man, that is a great argument. Will it win? I didn't say we could win. I said, that is a great argument. Protect and defend all of our rights.
Absolutely. We are here for you. So if you do have one of those legal questions you've been wondering about, you don't know who to ask, where to turn, just give us a call. The number's right there on your screen, 737-7587. Kevin, one of the things that I've found, I think, to be some of the most valuable advice that you give is when someone is confronted in a situation, they often feel like they've got to start talking. They've got to just say everything they know. What's your advice there?
The real world, that's natural in us because we haven't done anything wrong, so we want to talk. Well, the cards are stacked against you. When the police come, they all have the latest technology, voice-activated recorders. Do you have one? I'd say not. They have them, and are they going to use it in your best interest? I say not. They represent the state of Tennessee. So once we understand the only person that's going to protect you are you and your lawyer, then you should think real carefully. The old saying, loose lips sink ships. They say 90% of the people in the penitentiary are there because they talk. You want to explain this, but all I really need is one inconsistent statement. In my closing arguments, one of the most famous lines I use time and time again, it's Latin. It's falsus in uno, falsus in omnibus. What that means, if you'll lie about one thing, we can't believe you about anything. And then I'm coming home at the closing argument. Those are powerful words. They're true. That's why they've lasted for centuries. And truth and justice will prevail.
Absolutely. All right, let's go take one more caller before this break. Chuck is on the line with us. My namesake, Chuck.
Come on, Chuck.
We're glad that you're here this evening. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Go ahead.
My mortgage company sold my mortgage to my house to another company.
Yes.
And I can't get them to respond back to me. Every time I try to call them, they put me on hold for like an hour or 30
Come on,
minutes.
we know the deal.
They say it'll be a minute, but I want to get this straightened out because I don't want to lose my home because they won't call me back.
Yes. Well, quite frankly, what you need to do is go see a lawyer. We see the same things all the time. And they say, well, Kevin, why do I need a lawyer? Because when you've got attorney at law or you've got the Kennedy Law Firm on that letterhead, if the other side has any sense whatsoever, they are going to respond. A lawyer knows how to put these phrases in. According to our last documentation, we have paid you off. We'll use this, and this memorializes that there is no money owed. Now, I've created a written document. Will that uphold against the statute of frauds in the state of Tennessee? In the state of Tennessee, if it's over $500, it's got to be in writing. If it deals with real estate, it's got to be in writing. And you say, well, I don't have a deed. I didn't say you had to have a deed. I said, get me a writing. Well, I can't get them to sign it. I said, then let us create the writing. And we put the other side in a box. You say, well, I didn't know that. That's why I'm trying to tell you. Because so many, they refuse to answer, won't answer your correspondence, won't answer the phone. It's ridiculous. Send you to a website. You've got no one to talk to discuss. So that's when you really do need that. And you said it best earlier. Is it better to retain a lawyer, or is it better to wait a year and there's a foreclosure going on and your house is being sold?
There you go. All right, Chuck, thank you so much for calling in. We do need to take a short break. If you do have a legal question, get on the line with us, 737-7587. You're watching Open Line.